Hi, my name's Matt and I'd like to welcome you to this Zindiate video, which is the introduction to our ITIL 4 Specialist Monitor, Support and Fulfil training course. In this video, you'll be learning all about 5 ITIL practices in order to prepare you for the Monitor, Support, Fulfil exam. And I know many of you will be taking that exam trying to achieve the ITIL Master certification. So let's start off by looking at where Monitor, Support, Fulfil fits into the overall ITIL 4 certification scheme. And you can see the scheme on the slide to my left, and you can see that Monitor, Support, Fulfil is one of 3 possible qualifications you can take to help you achieve the ITIL Practice Manager certification. In addition to one of the ITIL 4 Specialist qualifications, so either Monitor, Support, Fulfil, Plan, Implement and Control, Collaborate, Assure and Improve, you need just one of those plus Create, Deliver and Support. So if you've already got Create, Deliver and Support, and particularly if you've already achieved Managing Professional and Strategic Leader, then you just need this qualification in order to gain both the ITIL Practice Manager certification and the ITIL Master certification. But Monitor, Support, Fulfil is also a standalone certification, so you may be coming to this course simply having taken ITIL Foundation, none of the others, and that's perfectly okay. But when you pass the exam, if all you've got is ITIL 4 Foundation, then when you pass Monitor, Support, Fulfil, you will get the Monitor, Support, Fulfil certification. You won't get Practice Manager until you take Create, Deliver and Support. So in the same way as Direct, Plan and Improve is required for both Managing Professional and Strategic Leader, Create, Deliver and Support is required for both Practice Manager and Managing Professional. And you can see on the slide as well that Monitor, Support, Fulfil covers 5 ITIL practices, and that's what will be covered in the exam, and that's what we'll cover in this course. Let's have a look at the structure of the exam. And you can see there the 5 practices: incident management, service desk, service request management, monitoring and event management, and problem management. And each practice has 12 questions, 12 marks in the exam for a total of 60 marks. And you need 39 correct answers, or 65%, in order to pass. So 39 or more out of 60 to pass the exam. And my recommendation is that you should be looking to achieve over 50 in the 2 sample exams before you schedule your actual exam. So you want to be achieving a comfortable pass in the sample exams before you schedule your actual exam. The 12 questions for each of the 5 ITIL practices are based on the practice guides, and you get the eBook version of the practice guides as part of this course, so you can read them in detail. They're not very large, they're typically about 50 pages long, so not too much to read. And the exam questions, the exam syllabus and the exam questions and this course follows those practice guides. So there will be 1 or 2 questions on each of the chapters within the practice guide, and you can see there the 7 chapters that are covered. So clearly there can't be 2 questions on each, because that would be 14 marks. There's only 12 marks per practice, so a couple of them will only have 1 question, some of them will have 2 questions. The key concepts of the practice, and then we cover the 4 dimensions of service management, so processes and value streams, roles and competencies is organisations and people, information and technology, partners and suppliers, so that's the 4 dimensions of service management. And then we look at the ITIL capability model, and then finally how the guiding principles support the practice. So that's what we're going to cover Those 7 areas, that will cover the syllabus and the exam and prepare you so that you're ready to take and pass the Monitor Support Fulfil exam. So, without further ado, let's finish off this lesson and move on to the first lesson, where we're going to look at the key concepts of the incident management practice. Do join me there.